All right, we're live. I'm having a fun thing where because I moved to Finland, suddenly everything is nothing works anymore because I have started switching over all of my accounts to Finnish, and so now my Spotify doesn't work. So let me see. Maybe my YouTube Premium doesn't work, which is annoying. I just want some music to play, you know? That's what I care about. Let me see if I can find no copyright background music. Actually, maybe I can find Harris Heller stream beats. There's probably going to be some ads that pop up because it's now my YouTube Premium is not working. Let's see. $248 are unavailable. Okay. Let's go ahead and figure out what we can do. Stream Beats original. That's 4. No. Okay. Music mix. Okay, we'll just see if this works. I don't know if I'm gonna get stuff copyright struck or not, but it's fine. Not a huge fan of having lyrics, but it's fine. Okay, let me pull up my other stuff and then we can actually get started. We don't have a ton of time, so. Okay, let's go ahead and find a better one. No, come on. Mix. No singing. Close that. Okay, we will see if this works. Okay. Now we get started. Why is that not working? We have an error here. We do. A. It's a random A there. Perfect. Okay, so I added the hotbar off stream, so we now have that. We can split stack. We have that stuff. This UI is terrible, but technically it works. I'm gonna need to add things like the drag and drop. But I can do stuff like this. I can build. Which is good. I don't like how that sticks around. Until you move it. Also, the UI for the build system is obviously terrible. But what we should do we have hotbar container. We have our slot UI. Slot UI. We have hovered, blah, 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 slot index. We could do a var is hotbar. No, we can probably just do this. Wait, no. Var active is active slot, something like this. Is active slot. Boolean equals false. Okay. Then, in our player, which is a really bad player script right now, because I've just been pulling things in. So all this input is just in the physics process. We're going to do project settings, go to our input map, and we are going to, let's see here. We need to figure out, let's do HB1, HB2, oops, HB2, HB3, HB4, HB5, and HB6. Gonna do 1, okay, sick, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, now we have that. In our other things we've done, what have we done? We go to our input. Unhandled input, okay. How did we do this before? 1 second. I'm going to hide my screen for a second. We're going to go to VS Code. Make sure it's pulling up the right thing. Okay. Okay, that's good. I can pull this up. Okay. We have this from our other project. Inventory dot hotbar size. Then we can do this. Okay, first thing what we can do is we can say if current UI state is equal to UI state dot build menu open, inventory open. We could do whoops. We could do closed. Pass. Or we could just do this. Does not equal UI state closed. And then we just do a quick early return. Okay. Now let me think. Oh, you know what? 1 second. I gotta pound some creatine. I'll be right back. Oh, we have an ad going. Nice. Okay. So if the UI state is not closed, okay. Let's do. Oops. Int. -1. Okay, so. Equals I. I think that does it. Let me double check my VS Code. It's change tool I. I guess what I could do is change tool. Because I'm sure there's other logic we're going to need to do there. Now, actually, we could just do this, and then in the change tool, we do if current active hotbar index is equal to index, then we do this, equals -1, else do this. Okay, and I think doing -1 there is just like we can do a check to see if it's -1 to see if there should be nothing. Now, current active hotbar index, what we need to do is now tell our slot UI slot UI needs to know is active slot. Okay. Slot UI seen. We go here, and then we go okay, we can do something like that. My brain is not really working very well right now, so which is fine. This is pretty standard. But a lot of this is probably going to be not very good, this code. Okay. We have changed to active, changed to inactive. Should we do that on every slot? Like, yeah, I think so. We could do panel container, and we can go panel container dot theme type variation, or let me just do this. Theme overrides. Goodness sakes. No. Okay, you know what we're going to do? We're going to get rid of all of this. And we're just going to add a new, I guess, How big is this? (64 by 64). We could do this at 66 by 66. Position -1, -1. Whoops, -1. Okay, let's actually do 68 by 68 maybe. -2, -2. Okay. Style block's flat. We can do this. Bit of a green texture. Okay. Panel.show. Okay, and then in the player, when we do the change tool, then we do this. If current act, or actually let's do for I in, or slot in hotbar container dot children, or get children, I guess. Yeah. If slot is slot UI, we'll just do a quick check. And then slot dot slot index is equal to index slot dot change to active, else slot dot change to inactive. And our slot UI, actually, we don't even need the is active, I don't think. We can just do it like this. Let's try it like this. Sengeki, what's up? What are we working on today? Look at that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. We are working on our newest project, which involves a build system and inventory. It's actually very similar to our mountain one, but our walking mountain one. But I'm changing the setting and I'm using a better build system and stuff. So okay, now we have in the bottom, you can see it changes to the active item based on nice, and it only does it to the hotbar. I do kind of want to make this panel let's make it a little bit even more. Let's do 70 and 70, -3 and -3. There, now it's quite a bit more noticeable when you switch. Merging projects for a plugin or for a game you're making. Merging plugins for a game I'm making. So I'm merging the plugins I've already made for a game to make. All right, now let's get rid of this boring main scene. let's go to the forest scene. Let's add a script to it. Create. Func ready. We're going to do global dot main equals self. And then here we need to add some stuff in. So we're going to do what did I call this one? Forest. Dark forest. Okay. Assets. New folder 3D. But basically, Sangeki, I'm trying to make a nice, cozy base builder game in the forest with some survival elements. We'll see what happens. This is going to be stone rock formation 1. Go into edit mode. Go here. Bring everything up. Okay, just a very simple shape. I'm gonna go to our materials. Add a new material, see what's up. That's nice. Yeah, we'll see how it looks. I want to make sure I got a good vibe to it. Why is this so slow? Come on, Blender. Just work. Okay. Now, what happens if I go into object mode and do shade smooth? All right. We'll see how this is. Now Godot is taking forever. Okay, so in the forest, let's add a CSG box 3D. Okay, we're gonna Okay, we're going to add a material to it. Okay. We have a player. Let's do project settings. Let's go to our scene. Main scene. Oh. It's scene manager. So we can just delete this. Take our forest. Toss it in there. Okay. Let's make sure this works. Oh, we need collision. Ground layer. And say use collision. Let's go to our player scene. Okay. We run into number 1. Okay, so now we have this, and it's pretty terrible looking, but that's fine. Then in our forest scene, we can also do or is it world environment? Sky. Okay. Panorama sky material. I am going to grab the one we need. Copy that. Create a new folder real quick. Paste that. Okay, now we got our old sky back in there. Nice. So when I play, we should have the cool looking sky again. Nice. Okay. Mostly a placeholder, of course. Now I need to create a new scene. Do a new 3D scene. This one is going to be Rock Formation 1. We're going to go into our scenes. We'll do maybe in the forest. Let's do a new folder called Rock Formations. Save, boom, and then we can do Rock Formation 1.blend. We can do instantiate, sick. Okay, there it is. We're also going to go in here. We're going to generate a collision shape for it. Static. Okay, sick. Now it doesn't need to look at anything. Reimport. We're going to do editable children just so we can see this. Static body collision. Okay, it's on 1. Now we can grab our rock formation. Okay, let's see how it looks with the shade smooth. Because what I'm thinking is to kind of build the world out of... let's also make our jump height a little higher. This player script is terrible because it's all pulled in from other projects. Jump velocity. First of all, we can make this a float. Okay. Not a big fan of the shade smooth, so we are going to remove that. Re-import this. Then we're going to need to add our outline shader on again, because that just looks better, makes everything look better. Obviously, this material is not perfect. We're going to do big trees. But right now you can... Wait, why I can't... Oh, I have to press right click. Okay. Okay, we can build stuff. Nice. We can build into the rock formations. Now, we will have to do something like... Oh, let me... So right now you can build up to that high, which doesn't really make sense. And you don't want to be able to, because then you can't get up on that. So we will have to do like square foundation. The highest you can build is, there should be a little checker to see if you can build at a certain height. Okay. New general, we're going to go A, delete, Shift A, we're going to add a cube. I'm thinking we add, good like this, it opens new ideas. Yeah. Thinking, okay, I do need a good tree. We have those trees from the other projects, but they're not necessarily going to work for this, I think. In fact, let's delete this. Let's go back into object mode. Let's go. Let's delete that. We're going to do Shift A. Cylinder. 16? No, let's do like 8. Yeah. We need some trees. Do I want to model out every tree? I guess I kind of have to. Scale that down to there. We're going to do some, okay, something like that. Okay, we've got ourselves a tree trunk here. Down some low poly from Google. I could, but the thing is I like building all of this stuff. I do like doing this. And then I can make it all be one style. Do you, bro? All good. Learning is what matters. Yeah, and I do also just enjoy doing it. Even if it's the result I could... I mean, I have thought about doing some asset stuff like even just Kenny assets or whatever. Copy. Okay, that didn't do what I wanted. Copy. How do I paste these in again? All right, just do Control D. No, Shift D. Yeah, okay. Okay. Fancy Water, what's up? What am I creating currently? I will show you in a sec. It's very... There's not a ton to see yet because we just started this one. Oh, I should probably do a new folder. This one will be trees. This one we will build out more, but I'll show you real quick. There's some other things I'm gonna have to think through. So right now we have an inventory system, we have a build system. It's all just very ugly to look at right now. So, but we do have some systems set up. I'm really annoyed by how the preview sticks around there. We'll have to figure out what's going on there. But we can build stuff, and then we're gonna add in a forest around here. So I'm going to have kind of stone formations, forest, trees, and then the main idea is that you're in a forest building a home. The actual build system I'm going to work on a little bit because obviously we don't want those boring structure elements that I have in there. That's just from my plugin, my base building plugin. But what we want to do is make it look better, obviously. You know what? Maybe for now, let me take a look at Kenny assets. We have Fantasy Town. That has some trees in it, but not necessarily the trees that I'm looking for. Let's do 3D. I'm gonna look real quick through his through the Kenny assets and just see if there's something that works. Actually, there is one that might work. What about this hexagon kit? The survival kit is good. Nature kit, maybe? Yeah, you know what? Let's do this nature kit and just see. Pretty advanced in this. I'm learning Godot currently. It's nice to watch and learn. Yeah. It's fun. It's fun to learn. I've been doing it for about 2 years now. So just stick with it. Do you have a place to download textures for models? I haven't. I never work with textures. I literally have never done. I only do like colors. But that's also partially my art style. Okay, I have this downloaded from Kenny Assets. Kenny Assets is great. Where did I just put that? There. Okay, so that is extracting. Then I can pull some of them in. But yeah, Fancy Water. Godot is really fun. So if you stick with it, it's a lot of fun. I've made a lot of projects. None of them have been finished because it's hard to finish a game. But okay, models, GLTF format. Okay, let's grab some stuff. Okay, we're grabbing 4 different trees. Okay, that one's cool. That's cool. That's just a cone. Let's delete these ones. I don't necessarily need them. Okay. Now let's go to our scenes. Tree 1 scene. Change type to a node 3D. Go to our 3D, then we're going to go to scenes. Oh, I didn't create a new folder. Folder, trees. Okay. Okay, and then let's create a new scene called Tree 2. Instantiate this guy. Sick. Okay, now we have two different types of trees. We can go to our forest scene. We can drag one in. Okay, these are clearly too small. Set that. Go to tree 2. Transform scale 3. Okay, go back to our forest scene. Now we can grab some trees and put them in. And actually what we should do, because this is pretty bad, because then they have, we're going to rename this tree underscore 1, or type tree 1 pine. I'm going to rename this one tree 2 pine. That way, they don't all get named just tree 1, 2, 3, 4 when they're in the scene. Okay. Are these basically just the same? They kind of look like it, but we'll see. Have you ever used Hunyun or Hunwan 2.0 from text to 3D or 2D, 3D models generator? I literally draw a tree and he made it 3D. I have not tried that. Would be nice maybe to get some easy assets done, but I'm doing such low poly stuff that I don't necessarily need it. Okay, these are still way too small. Is there any difference? I can't really tell. Doesn't really seem like it. All right, now we're talking. Okay, let's make everything look a lot better by making sure our directional light. Let's do like 0.2. Here we go. And for now, we can make sure that it comes from that direction, just so it kind of looks a little better. Did this yesterday where I created an importer for my game, and you could the positions of each vertices of the plane for a position of a certain set of trees. You could randomize the places by using a seed, and for the amount of trees, you could set a max amount. Yeah. There is a plugin that does a sort of similar thing that I've used in my other project. All right, this is already starting to look more vibey. Hey, what's up? What's up, Pooch? All right, so we got some vibes. Obviously, this is these trees are honestly pretty solid, just from the asset pack. My rock formations I'll edit and stuff, but I want many different types. But the thing is, this asset pack does have a lot of those, so maybe we could kind of prototype it out with those assets, and then just hopefully we can switch them out. Okay, we do have things like I'm looking real quick at the other assets we could use. There's stone large. We're gonna grab those. Do a new folder here. Stones. Okay. Stones. Let's go to stones. Let's add a new scene. 3D stone 1 basic. Okay. Cozy? Yeah, that's what we're looking for. Okay, now let's look at stones. Let's instantiate this. Okay, that's not bad. Let's delete it. Okay. Instantiate this one. That one's a little better. Delete it. Okay. Then instantiate. That one's pretty nice. Okay, so we'll just do let's also rename this to we'll just do stone A. Then instantiate this, save, create a new scene in here. Stone B. Instantiate, save. Stone C. And instantiate that and save. Okay, now we can go into our forest scene. We can grab all these pine trees. First, let's do a node 3D called trees. Do that. We're going to do another one. Let's get rid of these rock formations. Don't need them. Do a new scene here, or a new node. We're going to call this one stones. Then we're going to grab all three of these scenes, drag them in. Oh, they are all tiny again. Okay, stone A can be dragged over here. Stone B, dragged over here. Stone C. Not a huge fan of using assets just because it's like, I want to build my own. Even in prototyping, it does feel a little strange. It's not that big of a deal, but. Okay, now we've got hundreds of scenes in here. This is not the best way to do it, but I just want to get a simple vibe going. Curious, do you have a series that goes start to finish for creating this game or others? The building creator is very cool. Oh, thank you. I do have the building creator plugin that is available. It's not entirely finished, but it is. Oh, I need to add collision and stuff. But okay, this is nice. But I do have. I don't have like a video series. I have my whole backlog of all of my streams, although some of them are privated, I think. But I do want to do. I am going to do a tutorial for my base building system. So I just need to sit down and do it, and I just haven't. But I am going to. But I pretty much did, like 2 years ago, I started streaming and then have learned everything on stream pretty much. So it is mostly out there, at least my more recent stuff. Been doing everything in my power to only use scripts. .gd only, yeah. Like try to automate everything with scripts. Yeah, and it just takes a long time to really get like fast, but I'm really good at like getting a prototype out fast. Like this is 2 days of work. Obviously, I'm using my inventory plugin and my base building plugin. So technically it's a lot more than that because I built out these plugins a long time ago, but I'm using them, reusing them. But it does just kind of take time and like trying to build projects where you are learning something new every time. I haven't really stuck with projects long enough to like take anything from full start to finish. But that's, I think, how I've been able to learn is by just constantly switching projects. But let's get an outline shader on this. My favorite one. Actually, let's do it this way. We're going to do miscellaneous scenes. We're going to create a new scene in here. Outline shader. We're going to change this to a quad mesh. Nope. Mesh instance 3D. And then here we can do quad mesh. New shader material, shader, new shader, call this outline shader. We'll just throw it in there, that's fine. Go here, we grab everything, we paste this shader in, and then on the material, I think there's some stuff we have to do. Was it here? And then I think we make this like 4x4 or something. And then maybe we just toss it in here. Let's see what happens. See if it works. After you release the game and use different assets and different logic for the game. Yeah, you can reuse a lot. Finding the right setting is incredibly hard for me. Like the right world setting. That is kind of tough. I think that's the thing that I'm fairly good at. The rest, like programming, I'm not super good at. Okay. Let me see if I can find this outline shader Godot. Post-process outline. Okay, there it is. Mesh instance, size it to 2. Flip faces, okay. We need to go back to outline shader. Does not work well with TAA enabled. Let's look at alias. TAA is not on, okay. There we go. Now we got our outline. By the way, if you want to use this outline shader, that is the link. UI on the left and UI on the right, all that can be done in script. Just hard to remember what controls what. Yeah. Yeah, my UI, so if I go to my player and go to 2D, I have it all in here, like, even though so there's all these inventory slots, right? And they get deleted instantly when you open the inventory, they get cleared. But at least right here, I have them in there just so I can see what they're gonna look like. Now, when I press play, do they start open? Yeah. But okay, now we have outlines. We don't have any, these are kind of thick outlines. Don't necessarily want them like that. So let's go back to our outline shader. Go here, outline. We have outline colors. Whoops. Outline color needs to be set to full dark. Thickness, max thickness should be like 0.7. Min, we can do like 0.2. Max distance 75. That's okay. Okay. Now we have outlines, makes everything look way better instantly. Outlines work on the buildings as well. Okay. Now, the whole idea of this game, first of all, the forest is not going to look like this. Forest is going to be a lot bigger. You're going to have trees all over. It's going to be kind of almost claustrophobic. We're going to have more outlines of the mesh. Yeah. That really helps when you're doing low poly. We're going to have more, not mountainous, but what would you call it? Just rocky terrain, more elevation, but not in a. Oh, interesting. Yeah, it'll be mostly like flat levels. I'm not going to do terrain like that, I don't think. It'll be more on certain planes. By the way, if you want to keep up with the stream, you can always drop a follow or a subscription on YouTube. Also, there's my Discord, which I just posted in the Twitch chat, but I will post this in the YouTube chat as well if you want to get notified when I go live, or just if you have questions on Godot and need help. There's a bunch of people who know how to do things and who will help you out. Thank you, Pooch. Appreciate the follow, man. But yeah, I want this to be my real project for this year. So if any of you are curious, I've done many different projects that I've gotten fairly far into, and they're always the one that's going to be the project that I finish, and then I never do. But I can show you some of the progress that I've made on them. This one would be really cool if it weren't for the fact that it involves way too much animation and storytelling, which is just really time consuming. Because it was less of a game and more of a visual experience. But I still really love like the vibe. So you are this guy. Just a little cube of light who lives on this little planet. And I'm using the same skybox here, as you can tell. There's little creatures on the planet, but this is mostly just your hub world where you connect to the other worlds. So I can go to a sci-fi world where there's a big sci-fi battle taking place. And you can watch a battle happen. But like I said, the things that I was going to have to do for this game were just a bit too difficult as a solo dev. I love building cool settings and stuff, but it would just be too hard because there wasn't much gameplay in this, so it was all relying on storyline. And that's just a ton of animating. It's just tough. But then you could return to the home world, and the next world that I was going to be working on was this canyon world, where it's a whole new setting, completely different place, and it was going to be just a whole different storyline, like completely different settings every time that you jump into a different world. Yeah, it's a cinematic, basically. That's what I was trying to do. TMT, what's up? How you doing, man? But I don't think I can do this as a solo. It's just there's so much to do with the idea that I had. So it is cool, and I am going to be pulling some ideas. Like this was actually going to be a forest world that is fairly similar to the one that I'm going to be trying to make now. Then I had my other project, which I'm pulling a lot of this project into my current one, which is this guy right here, which is more the survival aspects. And it also has the walking mountain guy. I'm going to try to incorporate him into the current game. As you can see, there's a bunch of errors, but it's fine. Sci-fi world is crazy good, man. The sounds too. Thanks. Yeah, I worked a lot on like getting that sound to be really good. Because it helps a lot. Like hearing those auto turrets just blasting, it does sound really good. This is my prototype of the Walking Mountain game, which is a survival game, and I'm going to be pulling a lot of this stuff over. This is kind of an older version of my inventory system that actually is pretty good. It's just not super easy to work with. So I built a new one. Okay, so this was kind of the prototype. Here, let me do a toggle time. And maybe, what was it again? List all. Time, okay. Let's do time 24. And then toggle time again. Okay. Get some mood in here. But this one, is my game where you could ride around on a walking mountain and go from island to island. You can kind of tell them where to go. I'm going to tell them to come back here. This has the early version of my building system as well, which is not very scalable, so I built a new plugin for it that is more scalable in the new project. But the whole idea on this one was that you could build your base. Let's put some windows up. Just put a doorway. Windows. And ceiling. And this will be incorporated in as well. I mean, I already have the build system. I just don't have the actual building parts finished in the current one. But you build your base on top of this guy. Maybe you throw down, you know, your wood box. You throw down your crafting table, which right now doesn't actually do anything. But, and then you're like, okay, I made it to this island. I'm gonna jump out. Maybe this is too far of a jump, so we'll do that. Go over here, and then you chop your trees. Go collect your resources. And it was going to be kind of like you move through this flooded world with these between these different islands and stuff. It is cool. I just didn't have a great direction for it. And the code is very much prototype code. So it just doesn't... It's very hard to expand on. But I can tell my guy to go walk over there, and, you know, he brings his base with him. And I was hoping to eventually have it where you have, like, multiple of these guys, and you can kind of chain them together and have a big caravan. But, yeah. I'm in fly mode right now. Has potential, but there's a lot of bugginess, like these guys. He just gets stuck against an island and suddenly starts going crazy. But this has a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be using. Crafting and all that. So I've already done it before, so that's nice. Because then I can just be like, okay, I go look at this code to see how I was doing crafting. But yeah. What was the other one I was working on? Walking sim, which is kind of... This was going to be like a puzzle game. And it was where I introduced the walking mountain guys. But... basically, all of these projects have led up to me wanting to build my survival game. This one definitely has a vibe. I'm gonna fly up real quick. You can see that guy over there. But these guys are really hard to work with because you have to couple the character to it. You have to make sure the character stays on top. And it's a surprisingly hard problem. I've like sort of figured it out in my regular survival game, but it's just difficult. Tons of good stuff for sure. Thanks, man. Yeah, it's all been learning and building. Like, I never get that far into these, but I learn a ton on each new attempt. But I need to make sure that I'm doing things right from the beginning and not making it too janky, because then it becomes really hard to maintain and build more. And then each project becomes kind of a slog because of that. But yeah. Just very peaceful, chilling. Riding on top of a big walking mountain, dude. But this new one, I think I can do it correctly. I can at least make a demo that is good. What matters is stay consistent and use the knowledge learned to build the final product. That's basically my whole current plan. It is amazing though, like it doesn't take much to start getting a vibe going. Like all this is just a bunch of copied, pasted trees and some rocks. And we have a bunch of other assets in that Kenny asset thing. I'm going to turn off inventory UI. So then it should just start off with, okay, nice. We do have items in this already. They're the example items. So if I go to my forest, I can do, let's see, item scene. Item, we can do quick load, pistol. These are just the, there we go. The example items from my plugin. Okay, so now we have a pistol in our inventory. We can't pull it out, we can't do anything with it, because I still need to actually set up the tool interaction, like what you have equipped. You can select different slots. But you can't do anything with them yet. And one thing is I got to decide if I want to do what I was thinking, which is that you have tools that you use to build things and chop things down, or if I want to make this a little more mystical and you're doing things with your hands, like magically. I don't know. I'm still kind of deciding on that. At that point, you might not need a hotbar then. But, oh, Obscure. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. I'd used Kenny assets for a Construct 3 project. The project ended up being too big to use the free version. Ah, yeah. Cool view and sky background. Yeah, this sky background I just found online like 2 years ago, and I've just been reusing it ever since just to like add a vibe to my prototypes. It works really well for that. Otherwise, I think when I actually do my sky, I'm going to do sky 3D like I normally do. Which actually, I wonder, how hard is that to set up? Is it on the asset library? Okay, it's not on the asset library yet. Sunshine Clouds 2. There's a lot of this stuff that I just never really look through. I should. Preserving auto. Okay. Just random things. Buttered sausage. Quake Mapper. This could be good. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I should look at plugin wise. Spray painting. That's kind of cool. Custom gravity. Override and extend the standards physics gravity. Okay, that's cool. Main menu options, pause, scene loader. All right. Wonder if there's any like save and load. Adds dialogue and choice functionality. Saver plugin. There's like a state manager one. Yeah, there's a lot of plugins that I should look into for just saving time. So the Sky 3D one, it looks like it's not on there, but we can pull it in from the GitHub. Only plugin I'm using is to allow tiling or splitting the GD scripts. Oh, interesting. I did kind of want to do procedural generation for this, which I can do, I think. I've never done it before. I could do like a simplified version. But unfortunately, I do have to bounce. Because I gotta run. I have to go like right now, apparently. But I will see you all later. Thank you all for being here. I should be back on again tomorrow. So if you want to stay up to date on the progress and stuff, you can drop a follow. You can always join the Discord as well. But thank you all for being here. TMT, Fancy Water in the YouTube chat. Appreciate you guys. Pooch, Obscure, Sengeki, all of you in the Twitch chat, thank you for being here. Pooch says, no clue how it works. It's a bit buggy, but it makes programming workable. Nice. But yeah, thank you for being here. I will see you all next time. But I gotta go. Yeah, peace out, Sengeki. Good to see you.